Boy, you're welcome.
To the barber shop.
You're welcome.
To the barber shop.
Barbershop Podcast, episode number 251, coming to you live from Boxo Studio in the great city of Hamilton, Ontario, in the shadow of the Hamilton Mountain, where good things happen musically and otherwise. I am here with, of course, Ryan Cannon and Gary Greenland, who are in the control room. We have a rock and roll experience going tonight, so they're got their hands full, because when the music is loud, that means they use their hands and their feet and their eyes and their ears, and it's an incredible technical achievement each and every week. My hat is off to you guys there, controlling things in the control room at Boxo Studio. As I said, 251 shows up on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook. That's where we're streaming right now. You can catch us on Barbershop Podcast on Facebook. If you like live original music, you gotta love Barbershop Podcast. Which brings us to tonight's guests. You know, sometimes when you're bouncing along and you're booking the show and you're promoting the show, you're marketing the show, you're doing all the elements of the show, things slip between your fingers. And one of them was, I didn't have a guest for tonight's show, right? And I'm never too worried, because you can't swing a dead cat, because they're a little longer, because they're stretchier at that point. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting a musician in this great town of Hamilton, Ontario. So one of the fans of the show who quite enjoyed some of the stuff we were putting on espoused the same kind of belief in music and what music was about, what music was to him, to his band, the mission statement that they had taken on. And I thought, this sounds like somebody who has got the right idea and is probably desperate enough to do a show on a day's notice. And I was right on both occasions. So I'm going to introduce you now to the sweet gentleman of Raging Chimera. Now, if you are a Raging Chimera, I don't know if it means it's any more raging or any less raging than a normal chimera, and we're going to find out exactly what a chimera is. But we got Chris, Larry, and Ditch Diggerson. Ditch Diggerson, my dad always said, you know, you can do, I'd be proud of you no matter what you do, even if it's a ditch digger.
That's
and
me.
You are that. And is it technical? Or they say that is your drumming style, is a ditch digging style? Or does it have a dirty, long ago reason how you got that name?
It's just the greatest experience of my life was digging a 6-foot trench around a ski resort. Seriously.
It's very zen-like.
It was very zen-like.
You kind of get it.
Except for the rocks. They weren't very zen.
No, that's and the tundra. It's frozen.
That too.
Up there.
It did get cold.
Yeah. Chip didn't show up to work that day.
Yeah. And Larry Pascal, you know, you have been a musician, a magician for some time, playing bass. How did you come to hooking up with Chris and Ditch here? How did I'll give you first crack at how you guys come together, because the story I got is you were all soldiers, lieutenants in other armies with great skill sets, snipers and sappers and all the people who could do it, and you were like, fuck that, let's do our own thing. And you did it, right? So is that kind of close to the mark?
Well, close. But no, I ran into Chris. Actually, I had an amp I rebuilt. I rescued this old accordion amp from the mid-60s.
Oh, they make the best guitar amps, don't they?
Yeah, and so the bought a box or some sort of thing, and he bought a box or whatever it was. But the beautiful thing about it, I got it for $50. And it just needed some work, and I had a tech to fix it up for me. He just basically redid the chassis, so it ended up, it was the cabinet and some speakers in it. They were old mid-60s Jensens, so it had some decent meat in it, and so I had it rebuilt, and I put it on Kijiji, and Chris bought it off me. That's where we met.
And you think
actually.
that's the man for me, right? Were you looking for something weird or something off ball?
No, and then I was looking for guys to play with at the time.
Right.
So
The amp was just bonus.
Always bass players. I mean, if you know a decent bass player,
They're like goalies, right? It's
yeah,
hard to get.
exactly. They should have the Bass Player Association. Same with drummers. So as a guitar player, dime a dozen.
Yeah.
You find bass players and drummers. You tend to keep their numbers.
How long ago was this?
It's been a few years now, I
Yeah.
guess. It's probably almost going into 4 years, I guess now, almost.
Yeah. And you guys all kind of had similar style, what you like to play, the style of rock and roll. Did you kind of start?
I think we bring different things from,
How do you describe it?
What we do or what we bring?
Well, no. When people say what kind of music do you
Yeah,
play? It's tough because I know you don't
it's
wanna,
rock
you
and
don't,
roll,
you don't
so
wanna,
it gets focused around the guitar.
Yeah.
Sort of fortunately and
Yeah.
unfortunately, as a guitar player, I'll say
loud,
fortunately.
fast,
but,
fun. Not always fast, but I mean,
so my style is like, I'm influenced by like the Detroit, New York scene of the late 60s
Yeah.
and 70s, man. So, the Velvets, Lou Reed,
MC5, yeah, sure.
Ramones, Stooges, that sort of stuff. That's what really I come from,
Yeah. Same with you too? Like, or was some of you more classic rock oriented? What's your druthers?
Well, Rush fan from the beginning, but other than that, if it's good, I like it.
You're gonna like it, right?
Yeah, got all my Wolfpack records, so it's all there.
Oh, man.
Larry's the big vinyl collector.
Yeah, and it's good. Never get rid of your records. I smashed my Kiss records because it's like right. You had them when you're 11. When you're 14 or 15, it ain't cool anymore because you're collecting Aerosmith. And
I thought Gene wanted them back.
I do.
No,
Because Gene Simmons already got my fucking money. All right, we're gonna kick off with live, which is what we always do.
All right.
Combination of stuff you've recorded and stuff you're going to play here at the studio, and we like to share live music. There's 251 stories here at Barbershop Podcast, at least, and this is one of them. What are you going to play for us first?
So first song is called "You're a Comet."
You're a Comet.
Yeah, she was written. I played in a lot of different bands, so a lot of them. These are songs I've written over the years. Collect them here.
Earmark them and say this is going to go somewhere.
Somewhere, and they sound a lot different than they were in the original band.
Yeah.
Some of them were done for, but this one's it's about crap you can't get out of your mind.
Crap you can't get out of your mind. Some Raging Chimera. This is barbershoppodcast.com.
Palaces of wonder rise from flesh, fertilized fields, scrape gently against the sky. Down long highways that stretch to the sea, searching for what and why. And you're coming. Street violently through the open sewers of my mind. And you're coming. Street violently through the open sewers of my mind. Dim-lit hallways, I feel walls to see my way through, and to the part of me feels no pain, so I can finally be without sorrow and at peace within me.
Oh, yeah. Give them a big hand. If you have a heart out there, you got to put your hand up and give them a big hand because that is rock and roll. And Raging Chimera came here short notice, got their shit together and rocked it out. So tell us about the name. The name, every time a band has a name, it's usually a long process where you're wrestling names back and forth, bouncing them off each other. How the fuck did this one win?
All right. Well, so there's sort of two parts to it.
You're not talking into that.
Sorry. The name itself, so where it came from. So my dad was a good Irishman. Every good Irishman, their dream is to own a pub, right?
Yeah. True.
So, true. There you go.
Ryan too, right?
You're not a true Irishman unless
wanna
somewhere
own a
along
pub.
the line you dreamed of owning
Damn
a
it,
pub.
yes.
So you used to talk about those things,
Yeah.
dreams and all that, and his pub was going to be named the Raging Chimera. So. He died many years ago now, so that's where the name sort of
Did
came.
you find out what a chimera, like what?
Oh, it's a mythical three-headed beast, man. So you got the lion and the goat and the cobra generally.
And it's up to you to make the lore and the legend kind
There
of
you
fit
go.
and slot
So
to
it
make that
roars, it
happen.
spits fire, and it climbs hills. I guess.
Exactly.
You gotta climb hill.
We
You're in
roar,
Ireland,
we
you
spit
gotta
fire,
damn
and
well.
we climb hills.
You stuck in the valley if
Yeah.
you don't got your
So
damn.
being a three-piece, it fits.
It's good. And three-piece, you played in before, or is this your first?
This is
three-piece?
the first. I've played in three-piece.
It's a different beast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of jam bands, but nothing serious. But when you decide to play, a three-piece, for real, you got to
Can't
filter.
waste a lot. You got to be on top of stuff.
Exactly,
And these
yeah.
two guys got to be really good.
Yeah, exactly
And
right.
they are.
Exactly right, because I'm a little sloppy. But,
Yeah, and that's fine.
so they got to be extra tight.
Yes. Yeah, and as far as getting music and an original sound together, that's what you wanted to. Because sometimes you're like, well, let's do covers. I just want to make some money, but everyone was hungry to make original music.
I've never
right?
really bothered with covers.
Yeah.
I've never even played in a cover band all
Yeah.
that seriously.
Yeah.
I've sat in with some before, but it's
Yeah.
not really my thing.
Guy once, not too long ago, said to me, it takes the exact amount of work to write a song as it does to learn someone
Learn one.
else's.
Yeah. Yes and no. Anyway,
Wow.
It's a little easier to learn your own.
I've written some really fast, good ones. So yeah, I mean, man, it's golden when it happens, and it really opens you up to your own ability, your range, right? You start singing in where you're comfortable, you start playing where you're comfortable, and doesn't that sound the best? All right, sounding the best. We got some stuff that's recorded, and we're gonna play something that's recorded. We have a couple tunes. This one is called "Fatal Blues Segregation." Anything you want to tell us about it?
This one's it's a real old one. This one, so this one's just about people in your life, and it's sort of two parts. It's a bit of a medley, I guess, technically.
It's epic.
It's epic. Yeah. The first part is just about those people that sort of come and go in your life, and when they're in your life, they can mean a whole lot to you, and then they're gone, and it's 20 years later, and you haven't seen them again. And then.
Shit happens.
Shit happens, right? And then, the second part is just about how that's a bit of a bigger view of that, of how society at large does that with people.
Fantastic. All right, you're going to hear it. This is Fatal Blues Segregation. This is the Raging Chimera. Well, it's just Raging Chimera. And they're here at barbershoppodcast.com. three-headed beast that lives here, there, and everywhere. Raging Chimera. This is a bunch of dudes who came in and said they're going to rock. And they did. And they are. And you can check them out on their Bandcamp page. And just follow the spelling here on whatever format you're looking at. If you're watching it on Facebook, and of course it is on Barbershop Podcast. Like it, share it if you can. That's how we get the word out. If you are on YouTube watching this, click the bell for your subscription. They will send you a notice every time there's a new show every week here at Barbershop Podcast. All right, guys, as far as musical influences go, is there one thing that connects all three of you that you've all got a guilty pleasure or a common bond over?
Lou Reed, Iggy Pop.
Yeah.
I think just like,
David
good
Bowie.
rock and roll.
Yeah.
That's probably
Husker
the common.
Du, Hawkwind,
Hawkwind, yeah.
Led Zeppelin,
Yeah.
Max Webster.
Max
Yeah.
Webster.
And it doesn't scare you just when something goes off of the 4/4, right? It's like that's when that Pi Dubois stuff was really cool, right? When we were young kids, to hear it like that. And I think about that Meatloaf record too, right? It's like here's some Broadway, score, and all of us in grade 7 are running around going, "This is awesome!" And it really is the thing about music. You don't know what it's cool and what isn't cool. You just your kind of body tells you.
Absolutely,
You don't have say
hope it's
over
cool.
it. Yeah.
Why we all have the guilty
That's
pleasures,
right. All have our guilty pleasures. One of them is H&G Entertainer Services. I snuck that up on Gary. No way he was prepared for that at all, to put up the font there for. Oh, there it is. H&G. If you are an entertaining kind of individual, you get busy and you forget to do stuff. These people do that. They're not managers. They help with managing stuff, though. That lifestyle gets busy. If you've got bookings, if you have got an extra set of hands that are available to you, you should avail yourself of H&G Entertainer Services. They assist with contacting the venue, booking, the scheduling, social media, and of course they do taxes and bookkeeping, which is so important for a lot of us in this business because, it can get messy. But they make sure that it's tidy, nice and neat. H&G, check them out. They're good friends of ours here on Barbershop Podcast. All right, the boys from the Raging Chimera are in here. They've got a story to tell, a rock and roll story. It is their own sound, and they've come together, of course, through the great god of Kijiji, and it has brought them here at Barbershop Podcast. They're going to do another live one. What are you going to do next?
We're going to do a track called Better Run. So this is a co-write between Ditch and me. And so it's a bit of a Raging Chimera battle cry.
I love it. You better run on barbershoppodcast.com.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. better run. I've seen enough, and my time is short. I'm gonna take back what's my due. You can't keep all that, and some of us are gonna have to starve to death. And if you make us steal it, that's what we're gonna do. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. And when that day comes, you motherfuckers better run. Yeah, you motherfuckers better run. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. And when that day comes, you motherfuckers better run. Oh, you motherfuckers better run.
The hard stop. Gotta love it here, Barbershop Podcast. Raging Chimera right here. And the boys come in. They come in on short notice, and they showed up. And boy, do you show up. Do you like it? Like, do you have any soft, kind of gushy, romantic kind of likes? Yeah, you like slow jazz and stuff like that.
I mean, I
you
love
know,
Chet
love
Baker
songs.
Sings. That's
Yeah,
one of my
that's
favorite
true.
albums
That's
ever,
true.
you know, man.
You can't go
You wanna
hard
pick up
all the
chicks.
time, right? But you,
Chet Baker Sings. Does that still work?
Yeah, yeah. But you,
Yeah, we got some slow songs in the next set.
yeah, and you're clearly legit when you play, you know, the rock, and it's
Thank
right
you.
in that you nailed it down. Maybe like a 4 or 5 year period there, and the '70s kind of had that grit to it. The '60s had that hangover, and Ugly was celebrated. Like David Byrne would talk about the struggle he had in Talking Heads to embrace singing ugly. You know, to come out and say not everyone is going to be, you know, is going to be that.
Well, as a Lou Reed fan, you sort of get over the singing ugly thing pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a legitimacy that when you embrace it instead of fighting it, something kind of magical happens, and it's a difference of so little, but when you hear it, it's like, wow, that became very musical, and many times. And you know, we all have great artists, be it you know, Neil Young or Geddy Lee or someone who's many people hate, and it's not important. It's important that that person is singing in their voice as you should in yours, you know, as these guys did in theirs. You know, what do you got? You know, put up or shut up, enjoy,
Exactly
share.
right.
You know, that's the thing about music, right? It is an open invitation to all kinds. It really crosses, right? When you go into, you know, the walls come down with other musicians. You come in and you got something immediate. It doesn't matter. It could be 30, 40, 50-year age difference, you know, different genders, different socioeconomic. Yeah, maybe less so like that if they're
Especially
snotty.
if you're writing original stuff,
Yeah.
and if you're really being honest about it and putting your everything into it, it can be a bit of it's a revealing thing about yourself. You know,
Yeah.
what you write about. If you write good songs, you know, and then especially the people in your band should know what the songs are about,
Yeah.
and then having to explain what those songs are about, it's a bit, you know, it
And
can
then
be
the
bearing your
filtering
soul
process,
a little bit,
'cause
you know.
Yeah, you guys said you would really have fruitful sessions. You've been writing a lot of songs.
Yeah, we got a lot of songs.
So that's a good thing. You know, that's a good thing. A lot of wood for the chipper.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna play another one off the CD, and he brought in like 10, you know, great songs, and we picked some of the slower ones because you were going to be rocking hard live.
Yeah.
This next one we are playing. I like throwing stuff around here. So
Ballad of Indian Summer.
there we go. It's the Ballad of the Indian Summer, right here on BarbershopPodcast.com.
sign said 60, speedo said 122. Radio had been dead for a while. Moon shone through the window, reflecting off the bottles and vine. Been a long time since I was young. It's been longer since I was free. Some things just seem so far away. The others pass by far too quickly.
If you were driving down one of those beautiful country roads on this gorgeous Indian summer we had this year, it was crazy here in southern Ontario. Just 2 days of beautiful summer weather, rain. 2 days of beautiful summer weather, rain. 2 days of beautiful summer weather, rain. Repeating all the way through May, June, July, and August. September for the most part, maybe a little bit less. But come late September, October, and even here we are, deep into November. Gorgeous. Beautiful gift from God. And
happiness can be as simple as a rusty snow shovel.
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Me and neighbor Dave have a little... I do the shoveling and he does the mowing, right? So some years I win, some years he wins. I'm hoping for a very mild winter so I don't have to do too much shoveling. More rock. This is what I need. This is what you shall provide. What is next for us, gentlemen?
Ditch, why don't you do this one, eh?
Okay, this one's called A New American Way, and it's really not a new American way. It's sort of about deception and about people believing things that are, you know, stupid.
A lot of that going on.
Yeah, a lot of that going on right now.
All right. Here we are on barbershoppodcast.com.
I'm tired of hearing about how Trump's a racist Jew and beat his ass and throw him in jail. He's what you voted for. You couldn't ask for more. They're burning crosses at the White House today. But it's other people by the people. People hide your secrets. New American way. New American way. Mrs. Clinton probably bought the election. She should get a refund, her and burning the chair. But of that liberty, your precious liberty, there's almost nothing that's there. Other people by the people, people hide your secrets. New American way. New American way. Come on, get ready for a ride into hell. You'll pay and only they end up well. And they'll sit safely while you go off to war. Your babies die because the Chevy need more. But it's other people by the people. People hide your secrets. New American way. And you're a heathen to the ones that fight God's law. There are children everywhere who know nothing about war. And we can't bring them to our safety and peace, cause they might bring seeds of the things that they flee. But it's other people by the people. People hide your secrets. New American way.
That's all you got to do is pay attention, open your eyes, read a bunch of websites, go deep. Look here, look there, look everywhere. Find out what's going on. Write a fucking song about it. Wake some people up. Say your piece. This is a great thing about living in a free society for now. Let's be strong, people. Rock and roll. And it's always been kind of like the shout out music. Rock and roll, originally euphemism for coitus, sexual intercourse. Yes, all of that. But it became to encompass so much more. And this wonderful slice of Hamilton honed music, so reminiscent of so many of the great cornerstones that you've mentioned, and continue to make live original music. Of course, when you go out and you play, there's nothing quite like that, eh? Like, was that one of the main reasons you came back out and started playing again, is to feel like what it's like to play live? Do you dig playing live?
I never stopped.
You never stopped, eh?
I just failed a lot.
Yeah.
No, yeah, of course. That's, just the best. It's like I said upstairs, the amount of work that you have to put in, all the crazy things that you have to do, the things that people say to you, it's all worth it when you're in this spot right now, man. Yeah. It's just all worth it. Everything about this is magic.
It is. It's magic.
And not very many people get to be here,
It's true. It is a snapshot, and you get to be in it, this little petri dish that we call life. And being musical does put you into a whole other dimension. You get to float amongst so many cool people. And the 29th of November, there's going to be so many here. Barbershop Podcast. It is the 5th anniversary. It is the big show to end all shows. We have an open house. Not sure if we're going to run all day. Thinking maybe. Might go 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. 12 crazy hours of live original music and recorded original music, interviews, and good times. That's what we do 4 years in a row. We're going to make it 5. It's going to be the biggest and the best one. Join us on this very page, and it'll be a heck of a good time. All right, we're going to play the last tune of the night that's off the CD. This one is called Ride to the End. Tell us about it.
This one's a song for my dad.
Yeah. Got some heart in it.
Listen to the words, you'll get it.
Yeah, I get it. Here we go. Ride to the End on barbershoppodcast.com.
Returning home just to see down the hall to the left of me. I see him now. He smiles at me. Enough of a smile for me to see. He said, "Let's go out. I wanna go just up the hill, grab a video. Not much was said. We both knew. No words would do.
changing colors on the ship of food. Crest the hill in front of me was a beautiful sight for all to see. Sunset behind cast a glow over the beautiful town outstretched below. He gazed down as he leaned on the door, and I knew what this ride was for. Now ride with you to the end. I'll 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 ride with you to the end.
What a fantastic evening. What a great little slice of musical history, something right out of the cosmos. Filling a spot in the show, filling a spot in our hearts and minds. It is the Raging Chimera. That was a song about Chris's dad, who gave the inspiration for the name of the band and probably passed on the musical passion and
Absolutely. He was from the U.S. He was a draft dodger, so we would go back down and see the his in-laws, for all of our summer vacations, which obviously for him wasn't too enjoyable.
Yeah.
So we would stop in Chicago, and he would talk his way into with me in tow into all sorts of bars. So I saw Albert Collins, Buddy Guy, all those guys, when I was yay big, grew up on that in the house. A lot of jazz, Coltrane.
We are what we are, right?
Yep.
That's great. Well, it's been great. Let's have one more song before we say goodbye tonight. What are you going to send?
This one's a song. So I wrote the music for it, but the words are actually an old Joe Hill, and Joe Hill was a songwriter for the International Workers of the World, which was sort of an old...
He's a commie.
He's a commie.
He's a goddamn
Exactly,
Joe
he's a
Hill. I bet his name
commie.
ain't Joe Hill either.
So anyways, it's from this, I read a lot of crap, and I came across this International Workers of the World songbook from like the early 1900s. So it's a 100-year-old song. And most of them were really old-timey, sort of like kooky, just lame songs, let's be honest. But this one stood out as like, God, that's a good pop song.
Everybody wants a rebel girl.
Everybody wants a rebel girl. So it's got some old-timey lyrics in it, but it's a good rock and roll song.
It's real, too. All right. This is the Raging Chimera, and this is barbershoppodcast.com.
thoroughbred lady is a rebel girl. Oh, she's a rebel girl. She's a rebel girl. She's a precious pearl. She's a precious pearl. Brings pride and joy. She brings pride and joy to the rebel boy. Yeah, her hands may be hardened from labor, her dresses may not be fine, but in her bosom her heart is beating, and she's true to her class and her kind. All the grifters are running in terror when a spite she unfurls, 'cause the only thoroughbred lady is a rebel girl. Oh, she's a rebel girl. She's a rebel girl. She's a precious pearl. She's a precious pearl. Brings pride and joy. She brings pride and joy to the rebel boy. We've had girls before, but we need some more in the industrial workers of the world. 'Cause there's no better way to fight for freedom than with a rebel girl. Oh, she's a rebel girl. She's a rebel girl. She's a precious pearl. She brings pride and joy. Brings pride and joy to the rebel boy. To the rebel boy.
That's it. That is a big fat slab of great Hamilton music. A bunch of rounders coming in here, making it happen. I'm so happy you guys came in and done it. And done it so good, it never ceases to amaze me. Next week is going to be so freaking amazing. Mr. Tim Boviconti. Looking forward to that, coming in from Toronto. Going to be playing some music and telling some stories.
Thanks
As
for
we
crossing
do
the
every week.
sticks.
So for Chris Kiley and Larry Pascal, and of course Ditch Diggerson, I'm Kevin Barber, Ryan Cannon, Gary Greenland, the whole pack right here. BarbershopPodcast.com. See you next week. Thanks for coming out.